Evening, everybody. It's 6:01 on Thursday night, the 23rd of March. And this is your closing comment, video number 1714. And I want to harp on something that I mentioned at the end. And for any of you who didn't listen till the end, you wouldn't have heard it. So I'm going to repeat it again. You need to look at futures. You need to be able to have a plan of how you're not going to lose money and buying power. Inflation is far from dead, and disinflation or deflation seems somewhat unlikely to me. Disinflation, yes. Deflation would be a horrendous issue, where the only thing that becomes worth more is cash. Um, and so uh, the futures trading, all of our accounts, everybody's account who opened one up with us, and Dennis has been trading it only for a percentage of the profits. He is not a broker. He doesn't get commissions. You don't have to worry about um, churning in your account for commissions. All he gets paid for is participation on the upside. And only when we're making new highs. Now, over 60% last year, over 20% year to date right now, all accounts at new all-time highs. So you need to get to me either direct message or phone or on the Discord room. Everybody knows how to get a hold of me. So there you go. I just wanted to remind you. And the other thing I wanted to remind you about this issue is that even with the change in the tax laws, futures trading has a completely different structure for taxes. And so that's also something that you need to understand. The main difference from my perspective is that if I buy a silver contract, for example, and it doesn't go anywhere, I can just roll it to the next month. I don't lose premium. I'm not putting up premium. Also, in order to finance your account, we can now, at Straits, one of the best trading companies in the world, we can now use treasuries. So if you buy 1 year T-bills or 2 year T-bills and you pay a discount, you're going to make another 4.5% on top of whatever you make. So there you have it. And I hope that some of you have the good sense to at least check out what it is I'm talking about. So uh, we had some decent numbers. New home sales were on a month over month up 1.1%. On a year over year basis, though, they were down 19%. So housing is kind of betwixt and between. Um, KB Homes, KBH, which we talked about this morning at 37.63, up just 83 cents, had a high of 40.52, and it closed at 39.36, which was up 7%. So they had a pretty good deal. Another company in the news, Santa Fe, SNY, and Regeneron. Um, they are co-marketers, I guess, of Dupixent, which is used for atopic dermatitis. So, you know, those commercials where people have um, flaming shards of glass coming out of their shoulders. That's atopic dermatitis. That's one. But secondarily, it also seems they reported today to do a great job on COPD, which is lung issue, and very painful and a very horrible way to die. And clearly, their phase 3 trials there were great, and I'm sure you've all seen the commercials. Um, the only thing that I have to say about it is, they list all of those side effects. I don't know if I want injection site pain or pain in my eyeballs or changes in my vision. So, you know, um, I hope that nobody here has to take it, but Santa Fe closed 51.73 up 294 or 6%, and Regeneron closed at a new all-time high. It got as high as 812.69 closed. Last trade is 802.14, and that's up $51 or 6.77%. Okay, now for the bad news. On a scale of 1 to 297,000, today's rally for me was about minus 27,000. The chart on the screen is the S&P. These are the futures. When I talk about them most of the time and when I do work on them, I use cash because I find it a little easier and a little more honest. I don't have to worry about premiums and expirations, etc. So today's rally, which really got off to a rip-roaring start, took us to not even, not only not yesterday's high, not even the day before's high when we closed at 40.35 and 3/4 on this. As you can see, this is where we closed, and not to put too fine a point on it, the purple line is the 5, and it has been on an uptrend since about 39.20, and it's rolled. And the blue line, which is the 20, is right there. And if this closes below it, I'm going to have to say we're going to test 3,900. Maybe I'll be generous. 39 and a quarter. And that's a problem. The other problem is the insurance companies. One of the biggest losers today was TRUP. That's Trupanion. You have to think that if the banks are having problems with portfolios, the annuity firms will have the same issue. I mean, we just got through a 5-year, 10-year period where they were making nothing, which is why all the banks overreached for return. But some of these guys really have a problem. Trupanion was 56.19 down 267 yesterday. Today, it had a high of 50. So it was down 619 at its best level of the day. It traded all the way down to 40 and a half. And the last is 40.91. That's down 15.28 or 27%. So just to give you an idea about some of the others that didn't have any specific news, AIG down 3.26, Travelers down 1.77, UBS, which I'm only putting in there because it's such a hot topic, down 5.5%. So that's on the insurance and financial side. Also having a problem, as we mentioned last night and this morning, Coinbase, 66.46 down 10.68, 13.8%. Now, what I found interesting today, and of course you can be the judge, is Square. Actually, the symbol is SQ. It used to be called Square. Now it's called Block. Um, Block had a particularly ugly day today, and I want to explain the difference here. There was a Hindenburg report on it, which, as you probably know, is a short sale house. Um, what was different about it, though, is that usually these guys come out with a report and the stock moves down, or more specifically, they sell their report to subscribers first before they announce it, and usually there's been a pretty hefty move ahead of time, and usually by the time the report gets out, um, the stocks rally. So on the 21st, which was Tuesday, you can see where they would have been shorting it or selling it with their customers, because on Wednesday it closed at 72.65 and that was down 481. Not an overwhelming percent, but decent. But then today, after having closed at the low 72.61, so 4 cents off the low, it gapped down and continued lower all the way down to 56 and a half before coming back. Right now it's trading in extended hours 61.88. That's down 10.77, or just under 15%. No bounce whatsoever. And so, you know, everybody looks at things differently, and maybe there are some incomplete thoughts in their report. I haven't seen it, but I will tell you, this is unusual. And when you consider that Coinstar got their Wells notice yesterday for violating investor protections from the SEC, not sure that Block is going to be, you know, free and clear. Um, as you know, one of the biggest issues with crypto is money laundering. So, this is a payment system just like PayPal, just like Zelle, etc. Except that PayPal and Square, or PayPal and Block, also do crypto business. So there's probably a little bit of a carryover there. Last but not least, we have Netflix, which had just a monster of a day today. Closed yesterday 293.90, down almost 12. So 293.90. The low today was 304. So the low was almost higher than yesterday's high, and it continued up. I'll bring this out a little so that we have a bit of a comparison here. Let's go to the weekly and take it out a bit. It's got a long way to go back to the high, but look at it. It blew off here at 701, came straight down in a week and a half, basically in half, rallied, lower high, broke again, and also got cut in half yet again. This is 400 and more than cut in half. This is 160 something. Let's see, 162.70. Bounced, higher low, broke out, consolidated, higher low, reversal day, up, stair stepping all the way up. This is difficult to draw because it's a pretty steep angle. So, but it looks pretty decent, and it's certainly one that has pricing ability, it seems. And we'll see how that works out tomorrow. We have durable goods at 8:30, 9:45. We have manufacturing and service PMIs, but the market will be open by then. And you know, the rally today really looked poor. Um, the VIX was up 35 cents at 22.61. I think I saw it down at 20.80 or so during the big move down. So there you go, folks. I'll be back in the morning, and don't forget to get to me on futures.